At the very same time, cities and states are allowing people to carry concealed weapons on their streets. In Chicago, we're working hard to get these type of weapons off our streets. And unfortunately, there is just two senators just want to ease the gun laws in Washington, D.C. And I asked them, if they really believe that, why can't someone carry a gun to their office? If they want to ease restrictions for local government, why can't you carry a gun into the federal district court? Why can't you carry a gun into any federal building in America? They are passing laws that affect us locally without listening to elected officials, the local officials. But the federal government wants to pass laws that they exempt themselves. All federal government, you go to a federal building, it's like the military. You can't get in there. It's impossible. But it's all right for everybody else to carry guns on the outside, but you cannot carry guns dealing with the federal government because our lives are more important than your lives. And that's what they're trying to explain. And I disagree with that philosophy. As we all know, we see violence far too many. But like anything else, 82% in 2009, the total murders, 82% were committed with a gun. 60% were gang-related. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. And so gun violence takes place throughout our nation on a daily basis. In my view, we should not be a country to export guns. We just had a conference with international mayors, and they said, why don't you keep your guns in America? Don't export them throughout the world, because guns are killing our children. If you want to kill your children, fine, but don't kill our children. We don't want these type of weapons. Not only to the gun manufacturers in America, but also the gun manufacturers in Europe. We're going to say the same thing to that. And that includes taking responsibility to banning assault weapons. Why does anyone in America need an assault weapon? You spend an enormous amount of money of federal, state, and local tax money for safety. The federal government, you said an enormous amount of federal government, state and locals. So why do people need assault weapons? And so that is an example of assault weapons in this day and age. What are they needed for? To kill one another. Simple as that. And we think they should be banned nationally, and not only they should be banned in the state as well. We believe the strengthening the penalties of how can someone sell and transfer a gun to a known gangbanger. Straw purchasers, they call them, and they go from one state to another and bring guns in and sell these guns to gang and dope dealers. That's what they do. And so why can't the federal government work with local law enforcement and identify straw purchasers that are breaking federal law, number one, and then eventually state law? Why can't we stop these straw purchasers? And also, we believe that there should be a background check. If you go to get a license, you have to pass a test. I mean, don't you think there should be some form of a background check for people to have guns in our society? And it's very important. And we believe we should limit the number of handguns purchased, one per month. That's 12 in a family. That is, to me, is enough. Like anything else, when you see a child killed, you have to remember, I don't care what background they came from. I don't care what their father did or mother. It doesn't matter. These are children. They're brought into the world without a gun, without drugs, without swearing. These are children. That's all they are. And so they want to some way move on with life. They didn't pick their parents. They did not pick their parents. And so that's why we have to have people realize that these children should have an opportunity. I just came from Lynn High School with a delegation from Saudi Arabia, and see those kids from all over this community who are 100% going on to college this year again. Senior year, seniors, every one of them going on to college. And to see those young people learning Arabic and Chinese and math and science, and see how they're all coming together with a lot of diversity down there. And it's about 70% are poverty. You would never know it. They're not stamped as poverty kids. These are high school students. And to me, it reaffirms our commitment. As we all know, we have to do events like this. I wish the federal government had an event like this. I wish the state government had events. I wish the president would call upon people to turn in their guns. I wish the governor would do that, all elected officials, Democrat or Republican, and say guns destroy people. Now, I'm not talking about hunters or gun collectors and things like that, But what we're saying is we have to lead by example and leadership. We have a citywide turn-in to take part in our 7th citywide turn-in on May 8th, a week from Saturday. And that weekend is Mother's Day. And we hope that alone brings out more and more mothers on the issue about safeguarding their family, in their block, in their church, in their park, in their school. And say, I'm raising my children. I want them to feel safe. I want them to be able to sit out in front of my home, be able to enjoy my block in my street, and not be fearful that someone's going to drive by with a gun and shoot somebody. And then that's it. Then all of a sudden what we see is another child being shot or killed. And so since 2006, the Chicago Police Department and CAPS have sponsored 6 successful gun turn-in programs, collecting more than 19,000, listen to this, 19,000 illegal guns, illegal. Last summer, the program resulted in a collection of 1,900 guns. And every gun you turn off, that gun lasts longer than your life. That gun can be turned time and time again, be sold in any place in this country or the world. So every time you destroy a gun, you're saving generations of people. The Gun Turn is an initiative by many, many partners, faith-based, which we introduced, business community, advocacy groups, community organizations, parents of victims, purpose over pain, law enforcement, members of the media. I want to thank them for pitching in. And to highlight this, next week I have a series of press conferences almost every next week, just getting everyone alerted and to make sure they turn in their guns. Anyone who turns in an assault weapon, a gun or a BB gun at any of our 22 designated locations will receive prepaid MasterCard, $100 for an assault weapon, $75 for a gun, $10 for a BB gun, air gun, or replica gun. Why is that important, the BB gun, air gun, or replica gun? If you're a police officer at 2 in the morning and you see someone go like this and point something to you, you can't tell a BB gun, an air gun, or replica gun. I don't care where you are. So don't blame the police if your son or daughter has a gun like that and points it at a police officer or points it at another child. And what's going to happen? It'll be effective guns will destroy somebody. And that's why it's important in this. Removing firearms is not only Chicago but throughout the country is, I believe, is the highest priority. And to me, it is a very passion for me. And I think about people like John F. Kennedy being assassinated in 1960, and Martin Luther King, then Bobby Kennedy. You think of those 3 instances, you would think America would rebound and say, enough is enough. Or an unknown child getting killed. Enough is enough. We can't get immune to violence. We can't get immune to killing. We have to, we're human. We have to have our passion, our religious beliefs, and not accept this is not the way of life of anyone in any community. It's not something that's going to happen. It should not happen. And that's why we hope that the penalties for unlawful use of a weapon, that means firing a weapon. Before, the courts looked at firing a weapon as like spitting on the street. Well, I didn't hit you. I like fired at you, but I missed you. Oh my gosh, thanks a lot. And those people would get out of, by the time the police get back to the police car, they're walking down the street already. Unlawful use of a weapon. We hope the governor will sign that to strengthen the penalties. Now passed both House and the Senate, and we expect Governor Quinn to sign that, because otherwise, carrying loaded weapons is a dangerous crime. You're walking down the street with a loaded weapon. That is a dangerous crime itself. And especially the unlawful use of a weapon is much more serious. And of course, we'll pursue the ban on assault weapons. We think that is very important in Washington, D.C. We know the National Rifle Association is the biggest lobbyist group in the world. They have all the manufacturers and everyone, but still it is worth fighting for to protect a child. If their child is killed by a gun, I think they would reflect what they're doing. And to me, what we see at the Global Cities Forum, a group of mayors came out with a resolution asking for international cooperation. We don't want American guns in our country. That's what they're saying. You keep them back here. That's a very strong resolution for mayors around the world saying you can export something better than guns. And so I thank everyone here. I hope, I know the media has done a good job in the past, and we hope you talk to the families who have lost loved ones. I hope you talk to families who are volunteers and working on their block to keep any guns off out of their family and out of their community. And to me, this reinforces our faith that people understand the issue. And to me, it should not be a way of life for anyone in America, that gun violence is accepted. Thank you.